Get ready to feel
the power.
That's Colin Crandall, myself, Adam Roorda over here, and we're just getting lit X.
Lit X.
Literally, it's time for everybody to start getting lit X. That is the official Lith token cryptocurrency out there. They are bringing us this show every week. I am the blockchain architect, so that kind of helps out.
Absolutely.
It's making that happen, which is pretty cool. But
it's an amazing project that he's working on with a great team over at LitX. And just like I am the blockchain architect of the entire world of MMA, Adam is the blockchain architect of LitX.
So, I would like to know how you're dealing with blockchain in MMA.
Well, it's a big secret. If I told you, then I would have to kill you right afterward.
No, not really. That's not how it works. The blockchain, you open source it, you share it with everybody.
I see. Well, the metaverse is. I'll tell you after the show. I'm trying to keep it on the DL that I'm a blockchain architect. Now we're throwing it out there for everyone to hear. I don't know what happened.
Everybody, he's not a blockchain architect. Don't start hitting him up with job offers. No. Hey, can you build me a cryptocurrency that's on my own chain?
Yeah, I'd say, how many years do you have to have me figure it out, and then I'll do it for sure. I promise.
And just keep calm, carry on.
That is right. But we are going to. Yes,
I'm wearing the shirt. I have to.
LitX is what it is, and I've got my Detroit Lions shirt. How many people, if they weren't a true Detroit Lions fan, would be wearing this shirt? Zero. So we know that because I'm from there, and I'm going to be a Lions fan until they win the Super Bowl. In fact, I've promised several people that I will promise to stay alive until the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. So I may be planning on being here for a good long time.
I'll remember that statement.
Yeah, I know. I just hope that I can, because if it comes down to it, I'm going to really fight to survive to keep that promise.
You hit 90, 95, somewhere in there, and you're like,
I'll be
starting to go out. I'm like, nope, Colin.
Yeah, I promised.
They're going to go to the Super Bowl this year, so you got to hang around a little bit longer.
Exactly. People will convince me it's just like a little bit longer for the Lions to win the Super Bowl. So I think it's going to happen, and God willing, it will be.
Well, maybe that's why they're not winning.
That might be it. You know what I wish could happen that would help them win? It was an old movie they did a remake called Heaven Can Wait, and I know in the 70s they remade it with Warren Beatty, who was a big star back then, and he played a quarterback. I don't remember the whole thing, but his mind, even though his body died, somehow someone kept his mind alive, his brain, his personality, and they were able to put it into different people's bodies. And I think he went into this quarterback and won it all. So if my mind and personality could just be implanted into a very healthy, elite level 28-year-old quarterback, then I will promise you I will win the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions myself. If I have to play all the positions and run the ball in. So I don't know if that is.
I don't think that's a possibility, Colin.
No, unfortunately, that may be a little bit of hubris as well, which I'm not.
I mean, if you can make your way into the NFL combine, maybe you can get your chance that way.
It's true.
I hear that's the way to do it.
That might be the way, man. I might try to set a record as oldest player ever in the combine, but we'll have to see. But normally, I wouldn't be having this hubris. As far as thoughts of my athletic acumen and ability, if it weren't that I was this lit on this LitX. So getting back to that, tell them about it, Adam, and then we'll move on to something else.
Well, it is a sustainable cryptocurrency, all about sustainability and ethics. And actually, you see my Litty Kitty, it looks like this is broken. It's not. We have physical NFTs, the first of its kind. We have computer chips in here that connect with the physical NFTs. You'll be able to purchase these on our marketplace coming out here very, very soon. It was supposed to happen a while back. We've had some technical delays, as does happen, but you definitely want to be a part of this. This is totally disruptive technology, having physical NFTs. It changes the game, and it can be about collectibles, but it doesn't have to be. It can be artwork, but it can also be memorabilia and stuff like that it still is collectibles.
Yes.
But now we're also adding supply chain tracking, and literally this is going to open up experiences in the metaverse with AR, VR. We're tying that in, and when I say that, that's augmented reality and virtual reality. So definitely, everybody check it out. It's lithtoken.io. I need to update the website, but we're focusing on getting this marketplace out first. Which will be shoplith.com coming soon.
Absolutely, and I believe in it. MMA Power Hour has always represented accountability and AR, VR, and all that other good stuff. And now that we have LitX here sponsoring us, it's amazing the connection we have. We're swimming in the metaverse, and we're like we're passing people by left and right. We're going so fast.
Well, talking about passing people by left and right, I think that pick that we had on Saturday was one that most people passed by without even thinking.
Right, the pick we made a week ago today for last Saturday's UFC fights. Yes.
Yeah, didn't go quite knockout that I was going for, but it definitely was an absolute war, and it was the round that it would have happened in if a knockout would have happened.
Yeah, and the bottom line is we both picked clearly. If you guys go back and watch last week's episode, all of our archives are up. We both said Nate Landwehr, and in fact, it's ironic too, because right as I was going to jump to that fight to mention it, Adam mentioned it, and I was like, that's who I have, Nate Landwehr. The dude's a beast, man. I like to call him the Land Shark. He really has a different nickname than that, but he looks a little bit like a good friend of mine, Andy, and this guy's just a beast. And I'll tell you what, I was talking to someone, I wasn't sure if it was Adam or someone else, and I was saying, look, if you're not comfortable betting a 3-1 dog, which Landwehr was, I said Onama's known for quick knockouts. He's a really good striker. And I said, so if you want to maybe like cover your bet by making like a smaller bet on like Onama knockout in the first or something, where I think you're going to get like probably 4-1 odds or something, you could do that. And I'll tell you what, it looked like it may have gone down that way for a second, but like I expected and like Adam expected, Nate Landwehr is a tough dude. He's
I mean, listen, like I said last week, there's like 3 guys that I really put out up in that like just tough as can be realm, and he's one of them up there with Gaethje and
Darren Elkins.
Darren Elkins specifically. It's the fight against Elkins that has me like it's just stuck in my head.
Oh yeah,
and quite frankly, I don't know if that one or the Whaley Joanna was the more of a war.
Both were amazing.
But I put those in the top 5 fights of all time,
without a doubt. And I know the Whaley Joanna, being as a title fight, got a lot more eyes on it. But yeah, man, Darren Elkins, I think that may have been...
Darren Elkins Landwehr fight though. I mean, come on, that is going to be highlight reels forever.
It really is. And what it was in that fight, that was either Landwehr's first or second UFC fight. I think it may even have been his first. And they put him against Elkins, and Elkins is such a beast. He's like a real-life Rocky. And Landwehr was like, literally that whole fight, he was like, you know what? I'm the same guy, but I'm younger, I'm fresher, and I'm just as tough. And it was just, man, the battle of the wills, and Landwehr just outwilled Elkins, although I think it was a decision. But since then, man, Landwehr, like, he beat Ludovic Klein, and then by submitting him, and then the month and a half later, Klein like completely beat someone that was favored over him. So Landwehr's legit. The weird thing about that fight, Adam, is that Onama was just so exhausted after the first fight, and first round, and Landwehr had him mounted and was like kind of schooling him on the ground, but actually got off him on several occasions and just signaled to let him come back up. Now you understand the thought, if when Onama got back up, if Landwehr was gonna just go ham on him and go freaking batshit crazy and go trying to knock him out, but he really didn't. He kind of would throw, and then he'd clinch, and every time he let Onama up, it was kind of looking like he was giving away the chance of having a better chance of stopping the fight with the ground and pound. But, you know, I think he maybe wanted to show that he could stand with Onama. But I'll tell you what, in Onama's defense, Onama, who was exhausted and getting pieced up, kept getting back up and throwing. And it was just a crazy fight. But Landwehr is just a rugged, tough dude. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys meet each other down the line again, because Onama was kind of a little bit green before that fight, and after that fight, I think that gave him a lot of experience that he needed, and he did lose the fight, but it was a really good fight. And Landwehr, I think people need to stop making Landwehr a 3-1 favorite. Nate Landwehr will be in the fight pretty much against just about anybody.
3-1 dog, you mean? Yeah,
Yeah, right. They'll stop.
He needs to be a 3-1 favorite, and a lot of the times with his matchups. But,
right, exactly.
I mean,
don't count Nate Landwehr out of any fight.
No.
For sure.
Yeah. And I remember we called his debut fight actually, and got that one right too. So.
Yeah, he's tough, man. I like that guy. I've never heard of that name Landwehr ever before. Have you? It sounds like it might mean something.
I feel like actually, yeah. I'm from Iowa, so Iowa's very German,
right.
German, Dutch, and Scandinavian are the three
just
big
like
ones over
all
there.
around, just like Wisconsin and Minnesota, pretty much.
You know what? I do know a Landwehr from Iowa.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is German.
Yeah, and I wonder what it means. Does land mean land? Maybe, maybe not. But where? Who knows what that is?
It's Germanic at least. So, but yeah, no, I do know somebody. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and Google that. I don't want to look that up.
No, exactly.
We have other things to talk about real quick here. We've got about 3 minutes, and I want your insight into this one. Okay, this is There's 3 really big fights coming up here that I'm seeing
Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday, and there's more than that on this card. This is a stacked card.
It's a good card. It's a pay-per-view.
Clearly, we have one right now popping in here as a guest, and we're going to be pulling them in. But we'll let you go over that big one. Luke Rockhold, Paulo Costa.
Yeah. So before I do that, I do want to dedicate this show to my late friend Judo Gene LaBelle. We did a great interview here in 2017, and I've been in touch with him ever since then. And we've spoken on the phone pretty much every month for 5 years. Once in a while, maybe we'd miss a month, but once in a while, I talk to him twice in a month or even 3 times. And I really miss him already. It's been only a week, and God bless him, man. The guy's an absolute legend and a gentleman and an absolute true warrior. So. To Gene LaBelle. Gene, hope you're watching. Love you, brother.
Rest in peace, my man.
Absolutely.
Great dude. Looks like we may actually be on Facebook, but I can't see it. It's kind of weird how my software is acting up here today. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
I have some people dropping some chats, but let's hop on. Let's hop on over to that. What I was talking about, Luke Rockhold and Paulo Costa is just a really interesting one.
It's an interesting fight in a way, Adam, but it's a no bet fight in another way. And here's why: Luke Rockhold, I think, has had 0 fights in 1 year, 0 fights in 2 years. I think 1 fight in 4 years. He's been out of action for a long time, so it's hard to know what he's going to bring. His last few fights, he didn't look that great, but he did go up against absolute killers. The odds makers right now probably have it right. Paulo Costa hasn't been winning, but he looked very good in that Marvin Vettori fight. He's fought a lot more recently, than Rockhold. He's, I think, 4 years younger than Rockhold. So Paulo Costa should win this fight. He's come in leaner and slimmer than he's ever been before. But Rockhold's a former champion. He's a tough dude. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do. He's obviously the more credentialed wrestler. He's got the reach and the length. But striker is a way better striking in favor of Rockhold. I think way better striking in favor of Costa. Jiu-jitsu probably in favor of Costa, but I think Luke is a good jiu-jitsu guy in all those years at AKA. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I think the winner of that fight, if Rockhold wins, they're probably going to be maybe talking about him at least he's in the conversation with some of the guys at middleweight. Costa having lost to Izzy and then lost to Vettori, maybe not, but it's hard to say. Both are tough guys. We interviewed Paulo Costa. Paulo's always been a gentleman. Oh,
honestly, outside of the persona that he puts on, which in a lot of ways, just so everybody knows, if you actually get to know him and you have no beef with him, like he's a really legit dude. He's not quite as it's not a gimmick, but it is at the same time. I'll put it that way. It's just when it comes to fighting and the whole competitive nature side, he can get a little wonky. And as far as showing on camera, he gets that way. But I really like him. He's a really nice dude.
He really is. He really is. I've interviewed him twice in person. and he was a very, very respectful, friendly guy, both times.
Well, I am going to throw this out there. We'll jump on here on a call in a second, but I'm going to throw this out there. I do think I actually think the odds makers have this one wrong, as much as I like you, Paulo, and team. Really, I think Luke's going to come out. I think he's going to be able to finesse Apollo in a lot of the ways that you see Izzy has had
Really?
the ability to finesse people. I
you
really
think
do.
somehow all this time off will have helped Luke? I know that
I do.
Maybe.
I actually do in his situation. I think if he were not such a strong wrestling background, I think I would disagree with that statement. But I think there's something to be said about wrestlers and their mentality.
There is, even though as a tall wrestler, he's never really been one that uses it a lot. Like it seems like
But that's not what it's about. It's about having the iron sharpened the entire time, and that's the mentality that you get from that. So
that's true.
That's where my head's at with that.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump in with this next guest, and you can interview away. And if anybody has any questions here, while I'm gonna start getting the Skype dance ready for us, if you have any questions for our first guest or our second guest right after, go ahead, and what we do is we ask that you hop on over to the Hannibal TV YouTube channel, drop a tip over there, and we'll see it, and we'll go ahead and try to get your question answered. We're not able to every time, but we do try, so appreciate you guys. Let's go into that Skype dance.
Let's do it.
Skype dance. Skype dance. Skype.
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
I can. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just signing this. I just got a haircut, so just give me like 2 seconds to sign something, and then I'll be ready.
You got it. You got it, brother. No problem at all.
Thank you.
That's quite all right.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can give him the introduction as he is signing. Happy to have this next guest on the show for the first time. And he will be fighting in the UFC this coming Saturday in a very, very interesting matchup against Culing. I always forget that guy's name. But there we go. Here we go. So, but I know we have here Mr. Jay Perrin. Aori Culing. Culing Aori. And so this is Mr. Jay Perrin, and he's just finishing there, and he's actually in town there for the fights. Jay Perrin, we just gave you a proper introduction. Appreciate you, man. And remind me one thing, you're fighting at featherweight or what division?
Bantamweight for me, guys.
Bantamweight. Sounds good, man. Well, welcome to the MMA Power Hour. As long as you see that you're on, you're good, man, and we'll make sure you can see the show afterward. But we're excited to have you on the show, man. So this is an interesting fight here. You got Culing Aori. This is an interesting guy, man. Before we go into him, let us know a little bit about where you train and who's been helping you for this camp.
So I train at Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas, with John Wood and all terrific people. My main training partner for this camp has actually been Merab Dvalishvili. So he's fighting Jose Aldo and on the main card. I don't know if it's the co-main. I think it's the premier fight of the night. But that's been my main partner. But I've also had Vince Morales, Max Laley, who's a new addition to the team, who's fought Arichi Lang in the past, and O'Day Osborne who obviously took a loss last week, but he is an incredible athlete. And all of them have been doing really well about giving me great work.
Absolutely, and those are great fighters. And man, that Merab is an absolute killer, man. That's the same division as you, so you've got someone right around the same weight. Is he a pretty nice guy? He seems like kind of a fun-loving dude.
Merab is a sweetheart, man. You know what I mean? He looks like a real stone cold killer.
Yes.
But really, when it comes down to it, he is really like a very caring individual and really easy to talk to once he opens up to you. You know what I mean? And he likes me because we have ourselves some good wars in the gym, and we have a really good back and forth. So he's been really good about giving me advice and. Through him, I've been able to work with Aljo a little bit and get pick their brains and it's just been a great experience to work with him, and I'm really honored. And knowing that I have the number 6 guy in the world, getting after me and keeping up with him in the gym just gives me another kind of confidence going into this matchup because unless you're number 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, you know what I mean. I don't give a shit. who is standing across from me. You know what I mean? That's the end of it. So it really is a good measuring stick for me, as a newcomer, to know that I can hang with these giants in this. He's been really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And to have Marab and to have Aljo there, even however briefly, is amazing. And those guys are just absolute killers. And I think Marab very well could be the next champion. And so, yeah, man, you've got amazing people there. Iron sharpens iron. That is so true. So tell us, what do you think about your opponent here? And aside from giving away any secrets that you don't want to give away, what are you thinking that your opponent's game plan might be here, or what are you expecting from him, and what do you think some of the challenges he presents are?
He's gonna try and knock my fucking head off. That's what he's gonna do.
Right.
He's a power puncher. He's under Eddie Cha, and Eddie Cha's guys are a lot of power punchers. They plant their feet, they throw real hard. The thing about him is he does have a lot of holes. He's an ego fighter. If he starts to get frustrated, he wears it on his face. I think he's going to try and back me up against the cage. If he took any cues from my last fight, I would imagine that he thinks that I'm not good in the clinch, which is just wrong. Actually, it would be incorrect of him to think, but I do think he's going to try and take a note from Mario and back me up against the cage and try and be a little bit more physical with me. That's not going to work, but I do think that he's going to try and aggressively attack the knockout. I don't believe his ground skills are actually very, very good, to be honest with you. I don't think his wrestling's very great, but I do know that he is going to try and hit me really hard. Everything that he throws has power. So he's going to try and sit there, and he's going to sit his heels into the dirt and try and, knock my teeth out. So I do know that every punch coming at me, at least it's very much in the first round, is going to be a haymaker.
Absolutely. And he's an interesting fighter. He seems to be pretty composed. As a Mongolian fighter, you don't see too many of them, but a lot of Asian fighters do seem to have a good work ethic. But I'll tell you one interesting thing is that it seems like, I don't know why, but it seems like before the pandemic, a lot of fighters from Asian countries were absolutely killing it here. And since the pandemic, they're not really killing it as much. They got some wins, but I don't know what it is. But, I look at trends, as far as handicapping and like that, and it seems like they're not really killing it as much. But yeah, it's funny when I was looking at people that were coming up, because as you know, we've had a ton of people in the top 15, a bunch of people in the top 10, and actually several people in the top 5 and former champions on our show. But when I was looking at bringing on someone who was kind of an up-and-comer and a prospect, I got a good feeling looking at you in this matchup. I didn't even know you had Merab Dvalishvili training with you, but I just had a funny, good feeling that you're going to win this fight, even though you're a slight dog.
I'm going to whoop this man's ass. That's Styles make fights, brother. And you know what the thing is that, like, I'm counted out a lot. I've been counted out most of my career. So for me to hear all this shit that, like, you know what I mean, he's going to do this, that, or the other to me, I've heard all that shit before. They're more experienced. They have better subs. They have this and that. But you know what? I've won 3 world titles, man. I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I keep, every time someone tells me I can't do something, I go in there and I shut their fucking mouth every single time. You know what I mean? So this is no different. You know what I mean? The UFC, be it the UFC, CES, cage, wherever the fuck I fight, it doesn't matter. I'm always counted out before I'm even considered. So, like, I think that my style and how much I have improved is going to show here. I'm going to shine on Saturday. I have given every piece of my soul to this matchup. And I think that the style is there for me. The stars have aligned. Like you said, you have a great feeling. In the pit of my soul and my bones, I feel like I'm going to put something special on Saturday. I guarantee you that. I'm going to put a display on to let everybody know I'm here now. You're not getting rid of me. I'm not one of these dudes that's just going to get here and says, oh, I got here and that's good enough. Fuck that. Right. I'm here to stay, and I'm going to show it. You know what I mean? And I'm not disrespectful to Richie Lang. I know that he's a dangerous guy. You know what I mean? But this is everything I've worked for since I was 14. You know what I mean? And for anybody to stand across from me and tell me no at this point is just absurd. You know what I mean? So there's no way I'm taking a back step.
Yeah.
I'm coming out of that cage with my shield or on it. And so, he thinks everybody's giving him the advantage of being a dog, but they don't understand me. So they don't know that I'm also just as big a dog as this man, and I think I'm more technical than him. I have more weapons standing and on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think I'm the dog here. That's fine. I've always been the dog. I live to shut people up. So get ready for that shit. I'm definitely gonna beat this man up on Saturday.
I love it. I love that. I love that confidence, and you've got me convinced. I know you got that East Coast toughness. I grew up in Michigan, which some people say is Midwest, but I think we got kind of a blend of Midwest and East Coast.
Y'all are a different type of gangster because you don't even have water out there. So
right.
Like...
right. We don't. What do you say? We don't even have water. I didn't even hear that clearly. Tell me.
Clinton hasn't had water since Nam. So.
Yeah, I know it, man.
How you guys do it?
I tell you, it's amazing. But yeah, we got some good people in Michigan, that's for sure. But yeah, man, I like what you have to say, and I like your focus and intensity. How cool is it that you're on the same card with Merab?
Dude, it's a dream come true, because I don't get to fight with teammates like that. Merab recently joined Syndicate like a little bit more full time. So I put in hundreds of rounds with this man. I'm the guy that, and you can ask if you ask about me, you know what I mean? People that know me, of the top 10 people that I've worked with or the top 15 people I've worked with, I'm always the guy that's seeking out the hard round. I want the best people because I want to be the best in the world. And what are we doing if we're not trying to test ourselves against the very best we can? And so for me to not work or pick the brain of a guy who literally is one of the top 10 fighters in my weight class, in one of the most stacked weight classes in the world, is foolish.
Yeah.
So it was foolish of you to do that, even if you get your ass whooped for a little bit. You know what I mean? You're gonna get better. The only way is up with people like that. So
absolutely.
So at first it was more of like a back and forth, but like I said, Merab likes me because I'm not the one to take a back step. And so with that known, we've gotten hundreds of rounds together, you know what I mean, just over this camp. And it's been so good. My confidence is through the roof because, again, I know where I stand and I know how good I can be. And I'm a game day fighter. I'm not just a gym. You know what I mean? Like I'm good in the gym, but I'm much better on game day. So knowing how well I do and how well I stick around with him and being able to pick his brain and all the people that he hangs around with has just been so pivotal to my improvement, and has really been the reason why I have improved in my own opinion in such a short time since the last fight.
That makes sense. So speaking about Merab, he's got Jose Aldo. What an interesting fight, man, because it's almost in a way kind of a throwback fight. Even though both guys have skills and all the different skill sets, we know Merab is one of the best wrestlers out there in the UFC, right? And Jose Aldo is known as one of the best strikers, even still, although he's getting a little bit older. Obviously, I know you can't be 100% objective and that you for sure want your teammate and training partner to win, although I'm sure you believe it. But how do you feel that fight plays out? Or if you had a couple ideas in your head on how that fight's going to play out, what would they be?
Merab is the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
So it's just chaos with him. And especially when he gets excited, and when he's in a fight, it gets more chaotic. And I think that objectively, if I am objective, obviously I'm not going to root against my friend, but obviously it's very hard for me to root against Jose Aldo as well because I looked up to him for so long.
Right.
So it's like a fight where you're like, I wish both of them could win.
Yep.
But I think Merab is going to come out like a bat out of hell like he normally does. And I think that's going to cause a little bit of an issue with Aldo because Aldo's very good when his feet are planted, but Merab in his style tries not to let you do that. If he doesn't let Jose plant his feet and get his Muay Thai going, those kicks aren't going to work. He's not going to have power to plant in. And I think that's kind of the idea, is that if he can get Jose going backwards, I don't know if he'll get him down, because Jose, he's got quite the takedown percentage defense. I think it's like high 90s or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So I know Merab's been working on his striking quite a bit. I don't know if it obviously won't be enough to fill the gap between that space, but it'll be enough to tire Jose out. And we all know that he's had weight cut issues in the past, as well as cardio issues in the
Yep.
past, and I think that the longer that this fight goes, the more towards Merab that it will favor. So the first round is going to be tough, just like my fight will be. My fight's going to be tough in the first round.
Right.
But the second and third, the more chaotic, because Merab won't stop.
Yep.
You've seen him do it. He'll just keep coming until you put him the fuck out.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think that mentality that he brings, and as cheesy as that is, and that kind of ferociousness that he is a problem for Jose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, he can snatch a single on anybody. I'll tell you. You know what I mean? Working with him has been a nightmare because when he grabs your leg, it's work. It's
Yeah.
going to be hard for you to keep him from getting you down. And even if he doesn't get the first shot, he might get the fifth or sixth. So even if he doesn't get him down, it's going to be tiring to keep that man off of you. So I do like Merab's chances in this fight. I'm not counting Jose Aldo out. And how could you? The King of Rio for a reason. But
Absolutely.
I do think that kind of chaotic mindset and ability that Merab brings to the cage is definitely a factor in this.
Very cool. Okay, we can only keep you like 8 or 9 more minutes, and so let me throw you some rapid fire questions because we've got some fans that wanted to ask some questions, and then one of our production staff and me as well. So give me like maybe 1 minute or less answers on each of these. All right?
Sure. Yes,
Okay. All right. So in the fight, well, this one is just, you can even give a quicker answer. This doesn't require one. One of the things we were just talking about is kind of that mental toughness and the focus and being able to deal with a hard round. Me and my producer and co-host, Dr. Adam Roorda, made a big pick on a 3-1 dog last week. We had Nate Landwehr over David Onama. And I don't know if you watched that fight, but it was a crazy fight where Onama came out just piecing Landwehr up. And
Yep.
Landwehr was like, "No, you're not taking me out of here." And then Onama started to gas, and Landwehr just beat the brakes off him for the most part. Although it went the whole distance, and Landwehr kept getting off of him on the ground and having him stand up. But there really is something to say for that mental toughness, being the guy that just has that stronger will, isn't it?
Both of those men deserved $100,000 after that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And Onama, you know what? I'm gonna praise Onama because Nate is a dog. Both of them are. But James Krause gave him an out. He said, "Do you want to keep fighting?" And he asked him a few times, and he said, "Coach, let me finish."
Yep.
And that's a special breed of person. You know what I mean? And I have nothing but respect for that.
Yeah.
We train so hard for all of this shit, and we live for this. And that was the moment. And I'm sure they'll both remember that fight for the rest of their lives. But it's something to be said. It's a special kind of person that can go into a kind of hell like that and can keep going. You know, after a second round like that, after beating the hell out of somebody and they don't go away, and then you just get shit kicked for 5 more minutes to face that and walk back into the fire is something that I have nothing but the utmost respect for. And Dom said it best. Dom Cruz said it best before the Cheeto fight. He said it was a good day to die, and those men stood by that. And I applaud both of them.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I agree 100%. And I've mentioned that too. Onama showed amazing guts because he was exhausted, and somehow he just kept digging so deep to find more. And I can relate. I've never been a professional fighter, but trained jiu-jitsu on and off for a while. I'm a purple belt, trained stand-up karate, trained Muay Thai, and even just battling with your teammates, as long as you're all in good shape, it's a bitch, and I know that feeling of having to dig deep, at least to some small extent, compared to what you guys have in reality. So yeah, I love that fight. Okay, next question real quick for a rapid fire answer. They made a matchup in your division, Sean O'Malley against Piotr Jan, right? And a lot of people already are saying, what is up with that matchup? Why would they think that Sean O'Malley can fight a guy named Piotr Jan? What's your thought on that? Is that a matchup that's ridiculous, or does that make sense? And is that going to be a close fight, or is Jan going to win it going away?
Makes perfect sense. Stylistically, Sean can win that fight because it's a stand-up fight. You know what I mean? And he's long and he's very good. But Petr took this fight because, remember, this game isn't always about skill. It's about popularity. And Sean is a very popular fighter. If he goes in there and smashes one of the most popular fighters in the UFC, you know what I mean? It's a good payday, great payday for him, as well as he puts himself back in title contention. That's a big win for him. So Piotr taking that fight doesn't shock me at all. I think that that's more of a shock value thing. He comes in, he beats the Golden Boy. One, it shuts Sean up. You know what I mean? Two, you know what I mean? It makes waves. So it makes perfect sense to me that Piotr took that fight. Sean's been calling it for a minute, so I don't know if he never thought that he would take the fight, but he has now. And I don't think it's something that Sean won't win or can't win. I think that the thing that comes into question is how durable is Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, this will be a test, right?
He's kind of like a Dom Cruz. It's like, he's very skillful, but he's brittle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's tall, he's lanky, but you have to give something up for that. And what Sean has to give up is how durable he is for that length and that leverage that he has. So it's very interesting. I think that if Petr does what he normally does, he's going to take the first round off and download information. And if he closes that distance, that's going to be a long night for Sean. But it makes a lot of sense for me that why Piotr would do that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. In the fight, Chito Vera against Dom, that was a really good fight. Did Dom do anything wrong, or did he really do as much as a guy his age with 4 or 5 surgeries could do?
He did great. I think he was winning the whole fight. I think that the thing is that Dom, people have that movement that was so weird is people have caught on now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From Uriah to Cody, you hit Dom on the exit. Everybody knows that he comes in real strong, but he exit with his hands down, he leans, and I think Chito made the good read. The thing about Chito is that he needs to pick it up in the first round. Against the top 5, he's not going to be able to do shit like that. And again, he's 37. Dom is, and I think that he did. The second part of your statement is true. I think he did it as well as anybody in the top 10 at 37 years old with all that shit could do. It's amazing that he performed that way. I think he looked fast as hell. I just think that Father Time waits for nobody, and I think that he's gotten his clock clean a few times, and the formula is in the sand now. You can see what to do against Dom. Let him come and on his exits hit the counter with Cody and Uriah Faber, hit him with hooks on the way out. With Chito, he made the read as he leaned away, and that's Chito just made a really good read. But I think that the equation that is Dom is kind of solved at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's well stated. Let me see how much time we got. About 3 minutes left. So here's an interesting thing. I did an in-depth interview with Chito about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and asked him a lot of questions. And I remember one thing stood out in my head. He had been on like a 4-fight win streak and all of them stoppages, right? And I asked him, I said, how is it that you're getting all these stoppages at bantamweight and the overall amount of bantamweight fights in the UFC that go the distance are like probably 75%, but you're getting all these stoppages, right? And he answered by saying he's willing to put himself in bad positions to get results. And he said it's like taking risks. He said a lot of guys don't want to step in the fire even for a couple of seconds to get a chance to maybe get someone out of there. And he said he's just willing to step in the fire and take those risks and put himself in a bad position. Kind of interesting, isn't it? It makes sense though, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. I think that Cheeto's. I think that's true about him. I think that he takes maybe some unnecessary risk, but in order to make the reads that he does to get the finishes, you're gonna this is a sport where you're gonna get hit, and like you're gonna have to accept that. If you don't have a chin, you're in trouble, man. You're not gonna be able to dance around sometimes you got to be a dog, and I think just Chito knows what he is. He's not a super tactician. He's not like a super technical guy. He's a tank, and he knows that he can take the punishment and come back and finish. So I think that Chito with him is he just knows what he is, and that's really pivotal. I think people try to be more than what they are, and or something that they aren't, and that's why sometimes it's not entertaining, or it seems like they're just trying to avoid getting into the fire a little bit in order to not. People fight not to lose instead of going to win, and Chito will take extra punishment if it means finding the finish the way that he thinks he can find it. And obviously proof's in the pudding, man. You know what I mean? He keeps doing it. Every time he puts his foot up, somebody has a fucking highlight reel weird picture of it after. So obviously, I think that's just him accepting what he is in the sport, and it works for him.
Absolutely. Well, Jay Perrin, I'm excited to see you compete. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of wrestlers not agree to wrestle and end up getting pieced up. I've never seen Marab refuse to shoot a takedown, so I'm hoping we won't see you refuse to shoot a takedown in this fight. Good, because it was.
I'm gonna beat him everywhere, dude. Doesn't matter. No matter where it goes, I'm gonna beat him up. So
I like it. I like it. Tell us the best place people can support you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram, both the same name. It's Joker_gang35. You know what I mean? I'm here to stay, baby. On Saturday, I promise I got something special for every one of you. So get ready. Me and Ori are going to be a sleeper of the night. I guarantee you that. You're going to be thoroughly entertained. He's going to come to bring it. I'm going to come to bring it. It's going to be a battle of who takes a back step first. And I guarantee you it's not going to be fucking me.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you take the W. Jay Perrin, keep your focus, man. I think you got a great career ahead of you. We'll stay in touch. Love to talk to you again somewhere down the line.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
You too now.
Thanks. And that was Jay Perrin. Like this guy, I did not even realize he was training with Merab Dvalishvili over at Syndicate, and then even had Aljo. Cool. Wow, I mean, that's like this is you know, you can't not.
You actually can't ask for a better interview.
This guy was
the
great.
week of a fight that he's fighting, and have great insights into.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is a special guy. You're right.
No, he is actually. If he wins this here, and I'm starting to feel confident just because of his attitude. His own confidence in it, and most fighters have it. But you know, there's a certain thing there. It's not. It's cockiness, but it's not.
It's a belief.
Still,
just self belief.
He pulled back a little bit, trying to rein himself in with humility there. So it wasn't like it is really important to be able to feel that out with some of these fighters, especially when they're fresh to the UFC.
Exactly.
But you know, if he comes in and wins, I could see him just being an exciting personality and everything in the UFC.
Too. I like him. He's this cool East Coast dude. He looks good. He's got a good look. He speaks really well. Like him, Jay Perrin. Really glad we had him on. Anyway, we're ready for our next guest as soon as you are.
He was ready right at a quarter till or
42.
Okay.
Yeah, which is right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Boop, boop. We'll try to go into the Skype dance here. It is showing that he's kind of on.
Oop.
Nope, it's saying Jimmy is not
okay.
on.
Now let me tell him. We just tried you on Skype, but it looks like you're not on. If you could call us, that would be awesome.
Really odd because it's kind of showing that he's here and not way away, but there's little icons that tell you whether they're away or here.
Wait a second here. Usually it works, and I bet you he will be able to call us. Here we go. Okay, here we go. But yeah, no, Jay, I like him. I like, you know, and I tell you what, he's not a huge underdog. He's like about 1.5 to 1 dog. And but yeah, I got a feeling. Because Aorti is a tough guy. Keeling Aorti is a tough guy from Mongolia, and like he said, this guy's gonna bring the fire. This guy's gonna be going, like he said, I was gonna come out to knock my fucking head off. You know, I like that. He tells it like it is, man. You know,
and that's what I'm saying. He knows well enough that you know he's gonna come out and try to knock him out straight away.
Yeah.
And that's good. He knows his opponent and he knows his strengths.
Okay.
You know, being able to kind of hold back. But
absolutely.
yeah, what's up?
Jimmy says he's on. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, there he is.
Okay. You want to get him? All right, there we go. Hey, Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. All we need you to do is hit that video button at the bottom if you can, and we'll be good to go. And as long as you see yourself in frame, not a problem. Not a problem, brother.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that.
No problem. So while you're doing beautiful, there we go right there. Excellent. So let me give you a proper introduction. Happy to have you back on the show. Many years as a top UFC fighter, now in the BKFC. We're talking about the man they call El Terror, Jimmy Rivera. Welcome back to the show, Jimmy.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome. Man, I almost didn't recognize you without the patented Jimmy Rivera mustache. Where is that?
I got rid of the beard, actually.
And beard. You know, you're right. You had the whole thing. This is the clean cut. You probably haven't seen this clean cut face in what, 10 years?
Yeah, I haven't. It was a little weird. It scared my daughter, that's for sure. I did it in stages, so I buzzed it down real short, and then she like gave me a double take look, and she was like, "Who is that?" And then she realized it was Dad.
I love it.
And then I shaved it. sorry about that. Then I'm like, she gave me a double take look, and then I shaved it, and it was just one of those things.
I
It was
love it.
funny.
That
Like,
is.
you run into things all the time. Like literally, I'm trying to get on Skype for this interview, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot my password.
Right.
So
I know
so
that feeling.
yeah, so I had to reset the password. So I apologize for getting on a little late.
No problem. No problem at all, brother. I really appreciate you. We're glad to have you back on. So that first BKFC fight was a draw. Everyone felt you won. I was actually talking to Chris Lytle, who's a friend of mine. You know, he does the commentary, and he wanted me to tell you that he was really impressed with your first fight. And yeah, he had that your way as well.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, Chris Lytle's a cool guy. I mean, watched him growing up. The fight, I thought I won. I actually haven't even took myself to watch the fight again because I was just kind of upset about it. I assume in the future there's going to be a rematch. I'm not sure when. I know they have this big fight coming up this weekend in London, so kind of, I guess, after the week, kind of figure out what's going on. See what plans they have for me. I definitely want to commentate too and get in the mix. I mean, and also possibly look for an MMA fight as well.
Nice.
Not sure where yet or anything like that, but I definitely have a little bit more. I don't know if you call it a little bit more. I definitely have like a good 3 or 4 years left. You know what I mean? I don't feel it. The time in between fights has helped with my family being there for my kids,
Nice.
but it's also helped with injuries and stuff like that. So it's really like, I've been able to actually put on more size since I've been off. Since I finished my last fight with Howard Davis, I've been able to really put on more size, which is good, especially fighting at 45.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's where you fought in the bare knuckles 45?
Yeah, 145. 35 is really it's one of those tough things to get down. I did it in UFC, and it's just one of those things where it's not even like the fact that I have to cut body fat. It's more like I have to like cut muscle, and my diet's got to be super lean, and I gotta, if I'm weighing 151, I gotta lose about 2 pounds to 3 pounds of muscle when I've done it with my nutritionist and all that. So it's one of those things that sucks. Because once you get down there and you like get it lower and lower, you start going with guys in the gym, and mentally you're like, I used to beat this guy up, but you're like not doing as well because you're physically like you're not the same size you were. You don't have not the same size you were. You don't have that strength that you usually have. Not even even being lighter. I'm not saying being lighter, but just having that same strength. So it's one of those things that where I really sat down and when I finished my contract with UFC to sit down and figure out where I'm going to go next and what weight division, and really picked 145. And I honestly, the last camp I had, fighting with the bare knuckle with Howard Davis, was the best camp I think I've ever had. I didn't have to worry about cutting weight and depleting myself and getting really skinny and anorexic. I got to enjoy and be strong, and I felt great in the ring.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you looked really good there too. You were giving away a lot of reach, but I think you're used to that, and as a lot of fighters are. And you just killed it, man. How was the fight, being your first bare knuckles official fight? How was it similar to what you were expecting, and how was it different than what you were expecting?
I was expecting all of it. The one thing that I've never, been challenged before is like I fought guys that were 5'10", but I've never fought a guy that's 6'2". You know what I mean?
Right.
He has 3 foot on me. He has 10 inches. I'm only 5'4".
Yep.
So that was definitely challenging. But I think the one thing I wasn't ready or expecting as much was the clinch.
Yeah.
Got in the clinch. I actually thought he would throw with me more, but every time I got in, he grabbed me. I even remember getting yelled at by the refs about being grabbed. I put my arms in the air. I'm like, listen, I'm not grabbing you. He's the one grabbing me. I don't know what you want. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like it's tough. But I think when the ref saw that, he realized that, and it was like Howard didn't want to play that inside fight with me where he's good at, and I got inside a lot, and I just didn't do as much as I wanted to because I was being grabbed. So when we were inside fighting in that fight, it was something very new to me. It was like I figured it out in the second round. But the first round, he was throwing in the back of my head, doing this, doing that. I'm like, what the? Like I'm so used to when you're in the clinch, person's going for a takedown, or if it's boxing, like all the boxing I did, like you're clinched up, you usually break it up, or you're still working there.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to that dirty boxing where you just punch it all there, but I figured it out, and what helped my advantage was like all the wall wrestling I've done over all the years, and having head position and knowing my underhooks and where to put my head helped tremendously.
Yeah, it makes sense, and that's good to know. And it does seem that way. It seems like a lot of guys in MMA are coming in, and just that grittiness and that experience inside, and knowing the head position, knowing where you want your body to be, and just the ruggedness of the training you guys do is serving you well. I mean, I think at first people were saying, okay, these guys are coming over from MMA in the first couple BKFCs and are like, man, these guys are just going to get wiped out. And then little by little, it's like it's not happening. All of a sudden you see, Johnny Bedford and all these guys looking amazing. You know what I mean? And it's like the MMA guys are actually killing it in BKFC. And I think it's a testament to the hard training that you guys do and just the overall toughness of it,
I think when you got some guys in the BKFC and they get into the first time and I've seen it like just watching the sport. I'm in the league. I've been watching it before I got signed, and you see some guys that get hit and they're pretty much done. Like in that fourth round, I definitely broke my nose. Well, I did. So I recovered from that injury. But I was like, my coach was like, well, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm good. I think my nose is broken down. He's like, all right, sit down. I'm like, all right. I'm like, no problem.
Nice.
But
Nice.
I think the biggest thing sorry, my AD is kicking in. The biggest thing is that, the MMA guys have good clinches compared to the boxers.
Right.
But with the all fight in general, I think people realize, like, I went in there, not only that I have the clinch game, but I could fucking box.
Yeah.
And I love boxing. So I think people weren't expecting that. I don't think Howard was expecting that. I don't think people in general were expecting that this little short 5'4" guy could actually throw hands and box. I mean, leading up to trying to get my debut with bare knuckle, we tried to get the Chad Mendes fight. He said no to me. We tried to get that, but he got hurt. So, like, at the end of the day, I sat down with Dave. He's like, I have two guys in mind. And when he contacted me like a week later, he's like, listen, I have Howard Davis. I'm like, it's good. Is it for a belt or for number one contendership? He's like, number one contendership. I'm like, all right, that sounds good. I mean, I don't care. I'm like, I want to get in there, compete. And then just at the end of the fifth round, I could tell you it was just so nice to get back in there and compete again. Like, I hate taking so much time off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens, but this was like a big time off between everything, just because stuff fell through. Like, I was supposed to fight in November, actually, or somewhere around that time period, but then Chad said no to the fight, and they pushed his debut date. Then I was supposed to fight in Triad, but then the whole card got canceled. Then I was supposed to fight Dat, and he got hurt. So it was like one of those things. I was like, man, I had like a black cloud over me. Like, I just can't get a fight going. It's one of those things, really frustrating. But finally to get back in there after a year was nice.
Absolutely, and I can imagine that feeling. And I know you've always been one that's willing to fight whoever is there, and so I'm glad you got to be back in action. We only got about 4 more minutes with you, but so I know you were saying that you might do a BKFC next if there is one, or an MMA. It sounds like you got some flexibility there with David Feldman in case something came up in like a Bellator or a PFL or anything. Is that the case? Possibly you're talking to them?
For sure. I mean, it's one of those things where I definitely want to do it. It would be tough in PFL, you know what I mean? Because I don't mind fighting, at 45, fighting some guys, but it would be like an interesting name if I did the tournament in PFL, and my teammate just got signed and he's a 45er, so that would be something where, like, I love Shane. He's like a brother to me. I wouldn't want to fight him. So It's one of those things where, we'll rock paper scissors who the winner is or some shit like that. I don't know.
Makes
but
sense.
PFL, Bellator, anything, and just MMA in general. But I definitely, I'm definitely going to do another MMA fight. I just don't know when. I don't like to overstep my boundaries. I want to see what Dave, has in store for me, and ask him first, because that's my priority there. And then if there's nothing going on, possibly get an MMA fight. But it will be at featherweight. I won't be a bantamweight ever. My
I
last
gotcha.
bantamweight My last bantamweight fight was with Pedro Munoz.
That makes sense, and I respect that for your health. You got to go with that, and you know it's best. In the last 3 minutes we got with you, give me some quick picks on 3 fights if I could. First, BKFC, Michael Venom Page against Mike Perry. Man, what the heck? Give me maybe like a 30 or 45 second to thought on what you think's going to happen, or maybe even a couple different possibilities of what you could see happening.
I just see Platinum Perry just grinding it out. He could fucking take a punch and give it, and I think he's just gonna win the fight. Will it be by knockout? Possibly, but I could definitely see it going this and him taking a fight. I see that fight, him winning it, and then BKFC and Bellator doing a cross promotion where Mike Perry's gonna go down on Bellator and do an MMA fight with MVP. So I can see that happen, which is a great thing for Perry, and I think it's a great thing for the sport in general.
Absolutely, that'd be very cool. And then we have UFC 278, Merab Dvalishvili and Jose Aldo Jr. What do you think?
Man, that's a tough one. Don't know if Merab has the cardio compared to, but that's a 5-round fight.
I'm not sure. For some reason, I don't think so.
Fight. If it's the main event fight, then I got Merab.
Yeah, it's not the main. The main is Usman and Leon Edwards.
Okay, so then I think it's definitely Merab is tough though. I've seen Merab here. I'm gonna go with Merab. As much as I like Aldo, I just think Merab has the upper hand because his pace is unbelievable. He has like a ridiculous pace, and I think he can take a shot. And you see him fight with Aldo. He does great in the beginning, but at the end of the second round, going into the third, if Merab's pushing the pace, Aldo's not going to be able to keep that pace up.
I think you're right. And then a quick pick on Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards.
Usman Edwards.
2.
I mean, who won the first one?
It was Usman, but it was super early in both of their careers.
I don't know. I feel like Usman, man. Usman's been on a tear. He's been active. Leon hasn't been as much. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Usman, man. I tell you a quick story before you go. I remember going to Abu Dhabi to fight Cody Stevens. I landed, and that day, as I'm checking in and going into my room, people are working out. They're sprinting the hallways. It's fight day, not weigh-in day, not a couple days before weigh-in. It's fight day. And I'm like, who the fuck is sprinting right now? Like, literally, it's fight day.
Yeah.
And I look, and it's Usman fucking running sprints, like a crazy-ass workout before he actually goes and fights. So that guy's an unbelievable kid. Like, I go, Covington for that good shape. Pierre was really good shape. Usman's just at a next level shape. So I'm going to give it to Usman.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate it. Jimmy, what's the best place for people to support you on social media?
Man, Instagram, Jimmy Rivera, just how it's spelled out, or on Twitter, Jimmy Rivera 135, which is funny, is 135. I'm not even 35 anymore. Yep. But and people can reach out. They can always send fan mail. I have an address on my Instagram to the school, one of the schools I own and teach in Short Hills. And they can always find me there. If you're a Jersey resident, you're in Short Hills, I got my Pirate Showman school there. You guys come by, take class with me, and just say what's up.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate it, Jimmy. Yeah, if you have a chance, let us know if you get anything signed, man. We're always happy to talk to you. Really appreciate you coming on and talking to us again on the MMA Power Hour.
For sure, man. I'll probably figure something out next week. This is a big weekend for BKFC being in London. I think it's awesome. A little upset that Paige Van Zandt fight fell out. They moved it to October.
Yeah.
But I think it's still a great card in general. And then you got MVP and Platinum Perry. That's gonna be a banger. Any fight that Platinum Perry's in, that's a banger. So it's always fun to watch it. Sometimes you cringe because like he's giving up some free shots, but he's like, fuck it. He's just one of those guys that's, he'll fucking brawl all day and push you, and he'll take a shot and give it right back.
Without a doubt. He's representing Detroit. That's where I'm from as well. And that's true Detroit. That's pure Michigan there, as they say, man. And I know we got respect for him. Well, thank you, Jimmy Rivera. You're awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on, brother.
Anytime. Be good, man.
Thanks, man. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Take care. And that is Jimmy El Terror Rivera. Almost didn't recognize him there. Yeah, he always had the sideburns
I was
coming
gonna say,
down.
who's this stranger that just popped up? Oh, it is him. Oh, yeah, I see
that's
that.
it, yeah.
It's hard to see it, but yeah, okay, got
Very good man, Jimmy Rivera.
Man.
And,
So, real quick, everybody, thank you for dropping all the comments. Jason Moody, you popped in here with a couple questions asking about Leon Edwards Usman. For starters, I actually have to agree with Jimmy Rivera on this one. Just Usman's just next level beast. So he's totally going to take that one. In fact, the odds makers probably have that substantial. Yeah.
I tell you what though, I think Leon will have his moments.
It's 4-1.
I think Leon will have some moments. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong, but Leon is. I think he's going to have some moments. I think he's going to have some moments. 100%. So one of the guys said, "Patty, it's all about Patty the Batty." Well, the people that are kind of jumping on the bandwagon are the young, the Generation Z, and it's all about Patty. But I think the most talented British fighter out there may indeed be Leon Edwards. He's on
it's between the two, honestly. It really is. Well, I think that's one of the things. I mean, listen, before
Patty really hasn't fought anyone yet, though. You can't really compare.
We'll see. We'll see.
In the end, we'll see. But as of right now, even Patty, I think, would not put himself
he wouldn't.
At Leon Edwards level.
He wouldn't now, but quite frankly,
potential's there.
The potential's there, and I think he's going to go there. But then also, there's the reality. There's so many exciting fighters coming out now. It's just insane. Okay, so Jason Moody, another question asking, and we kind of went over it earlier in the show. I highly recommend going back and check it out about Paulo Costa against our man here.
I think we
Luke
split on that.
We're split on that. I think
Adam's
Luke's taking it.
I think Costa, although Rockhold, what he's got is completely an X factor. Mm-hmm. So, Jason, we got to see. Probably live betting might be what I would advise on that fight. But be careful, because if it goes south on Rockhold, and you want to bet on Costa, and if you wait too long, Costa might be minus 900 or minus 1,200 if he starts really smashing Luke.
I mean, he starts catching them and it's game over, though. So, 100%. And I think it's going to be a little more, and you're seeing it more, the finessing. People know to finesse.
Yeah, Luke is slick, and Luke is very composed.
But I'm talking against Costa specifically. Everybody's learned after watching the Adesanya fight. They've learned how to finesse him.
Yep. You can outslick him, And I tell you what, that is a good question. But you know what? A lot of people that thought that Costa was broken after the Izzy fight saw him fight really close, barely losing to Marvin Vettori. Now, the advantages he had was he came in 20 pounds overweight and forced Vettori to fight at light heavyweight.
That was a little wild that happened, but 20 pounds overweight. Oh, no big deal.
Yeah, so Vettori's like, great. What weight are we fighting at? Heavyweight? It's on. And but Costa looked very good in that fight, and he's a talented. This is going to be interesting. A lot of this is going to be about Luke Rockhold, though. What does he have left? And it could be a lot.
Yep. And Kyle, thanks from Texas. If you're down there in Texas, I'm actually going to be down there a couple days for over the next week. If you're in the Dallas area, reach out to us here. It's at MMA Power Hour on our Facebook. I see that you're on our YouTube, so or the Hannibal probably. If you're on Facebook right now watching, everybody head on over to the Hannibal TV and Great North Wrestling, also on Facebook. And we are MMA Power Hour, Colin, for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night.
All right.
Everybody, I'm tapping out.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Adam Roorda, for all you do. In order of appearance, our very first guest was Jay Perrin, UFC bantamweight, with a big fight this Saturday against Aori Kaling, a very tough fighter from Mongolia. But more important is the name Jay Perrin. I think Jay's going to do it, training there with Marab Dwalishvili and other killers. Jay Perrin, slight underdog. Look for him to take it from the Mongolian Aori Kaling. Second guest was Jimmy Rivera El Terror. Thank you for coming back to the show, Jimmy. And I love to see whatever you do next. And I like his evaluation. Jimmy said, I think I've got maybe like 2-3 years left. And I believe him. And I think he still feels good. And he's got maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 fights left, whether it's bare knuckles or MMA. But anyway, that's about it. Spread the love in a positive way. Be that guy, be that girl. Take good care of your pets, and be gentle, and show yourself some love. And, we need it for the entire team at the MMA Power Hour. I'm Colin Crandall, and for tonight, I'm tapping out.